My name is Stuart Howe. I ran as an independent candidate in the Electorate of Parkes in 2022 and then again for the Electorate of Barwon in 2023 in the state election. In previous campaigns I've put together a bells and whistles campaign video to put to you, but this time I thought I'd just do something simple and direct. Our country is in deep trouble, and I put it down to the people we keep electing, whether it be Labor, Liberal, Nationals. We just keep going over and over the same things. They keep putting up taxes. They put up, for example, if you live in the regional areas, they put up federal taxes on road users, our truck drivers, which adds to the cost of getting the goods to our supermarkets. Why do we have on one hand the major supermarkets saying we're going to put the cost of everything up because it's costing us to get more to the supermarket, but then they post billions in profit? Wouldn't you think that if they were that tight for money that their profits would be closer to zero than they would be what they're currently doing? Why do we allow governments to continue to up federal taxes every 6 months, petrol being the major one, and then have our Jim Chalmers, the Treasurer, say, listen, if we were to drop the taxes, we'd have a hard time putting it back up. So here we have a government going, you're clearly in distress, we can see you're in distress, but we're going to continue to put the petrol excise up. We're not going to drop it, we're not going to give you relief. If you were to give petrol excise a reduction, across the board, the transport costs, therefore the transport costs drop, then the value of shipping goods drops, and so on and so forth. So the argument goes away that the supermarket requires to put prices up. We have what's called a fiat currency. It's backed by nothing. We have a reserve bank that keeps putting up interest rates, and then people go to the wall with their mortgages. So we've got two parts of the story here. Both the Liberals and the Nationals and or the Labor and or the Greens to a certain degree. We've got a housing crisis, but we keep bringing in 1 million plus immigrants every year. So there's going to be an absolute crisis. They say crisis, it'll be beyond a crisis. We've got the values of homes, just the median price, whether you believe it, 1.4 to 1.8 million in Sydney. There's no stock available. Now, then you add the RBA, you're going to put the interest rates up, and if you read most of the mainstream media, they're saying there's potentially 165,000, get that round your head, 165,000 mortgage holders that are going to be under major stress. So here we have a word called inflation that we, the governments, after we floated the dollar in 1971, if you're old enough like me, you can remember you used to buy a bag of lollies for 5 cents. My parents were on $5,000 a year. The average house was $13,000. You could buy all of the food that you wanted in a supermarket. And since then, it's called the hockey stick effect. But how do we have a reserve bank that goes out intentionally wanting to make sure you haven't got a job? We've got tourist industries. We've got the beer excise. When we put that up, we've just destroyed all of these boutique breweries. We've got, say, $10 billion tucked away for housing. Where did they put it? They gave it to the superannuation funds, and they said to us, listen, we'll build some houses if that makes a profit, that $10 billion. They're not injecting it. We have to have the Greens say, can we please have a couple of billion to inject it straight in there? We've got builders collapsing everywhere. Then you've got the government saying we have to build X amount of hundreds of thousands of houses per year to just take up the slack. So it wasn't long ago that the Liberal government wanted to make the retirement age 70. Do you know it originally was around the age of 58, that we should already be retired? If you're talking about your electricity prices, which is all hurting us, the rest of the world is not doing much about the emissions. But what are we doing? We're absolutely destroying what we are. We're not taking this easily. We're not slowly getting out of something. We're ruining all of this agricultural land just to put all of these sundials up, right? I mean sundials, that's what they do. They're just stationary there. So we've got all of these pedestal fans, I call. We're going into pristine environments that we would never ever think of, but here we are, we're just destroying all of this environment to save the environment because of the climate's changing. It was like the banks. We had a bank royal commission. Oh yeah, we're going to do this and that. Nothing ever happens. They raped and pillaged 10,000 farmers. They took all of their farms away. Nothing's ever eventuated. And why is that, people? Because we keep voting for the same morons. The people that are the politicians that have been in there like Albanese for his whole life. You can drop income tax to 15%. You can do that. We could rise GST by 2 to compensate. Okay, and if you believe out here in the regional areas that now we're actually in the physical building phase of these pedestal fans and all of these major areas of solar panels, 9 years of the coalition government before the Labor, are you kidding yourself that they didn't put the ball in motion? We've got, as I said, immigration out of control. The housing crisis is not going to get any better because the construction companies are collapsing. That's because there's no money in construction. That's because we don't produce anything here anymore. Our timber industry is decimated. We're bringing everything onshore instead of producing anything. All of our gas gets sold overseas at a cheaper rate than what we can get. We get no royalties to any of it. We've got politicians in the pockets of these billionaires who continue to make money off us, yet it's our resources. As a point of reference, how is it that across the world we've got we've got housing crisis? America is homeless, is out of control. Why do we all seem to be battling this inflation bug? Why do we all seem to be having less and less food? Why do we all seem to be going through this? Is there a playbook? And I could say to you, yes, there is. Why are we part of the UN? Why are we part of the WHO? All of it, we're a sovereign country. Right, and if the Reserve Bank wants to print some money, how about it print some money for some infrastructure so we can get our manufacturing back on? Right? How come we can't have smart people like myself with so many ideas to drop the input cost of businesses? And to all you businesses, I'm not anti-business. I've been in business all my life, run multi-million-dollar companies. Right? But we need to look after your staff, but we do need electricity. Okay. So start electing people that are going to get you that alternative. We're drowning. We're the frog in that boiling water, and that's just a cliche that we say over and over and over again. Give people like me a chance. There's more of us than you would care to realise. And we've got to start voting for strong leaders that have been there and done that. If you don't, I am saying to you, your kids' future is null and void. People of Australia, people of Parkes, hear me. My name is Stuart Howe. I have collectively over decades spent all of my life fighting, just like you have. I've spent the best part of the last decade understanding what these people are doing to us and how they're doing to us. But not only that, I've got solutions. We can drop taxes. We can increase Medicare. We could do almost anything we want to. You've just got to get the people at the top to have the ideas to do it. To do it. Not talk about it, not have an inquiry over it, not have a royal commission over this and that. Just get us over the line and we will do the rest. Thank you. Our government and the mainstream media are now lying to us every day. And I say that enough is enough. Hold me accountable in order to earn your vote. Please visit my website for more information. Written and authorised by Stuart Howe, Condobolin.